Hey guys, it's Jegel. Welcome back to my channel for another Final Fantasy XIV video, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about leveling. A lot of you guys are coming into the game for the first time and you're wondering what the efficient ways to level up your character are, so today we're going to kind of get into that and talk about all the things you can do to help you level up more efficiently. So the first thing we're going to want to talk about is if this is your first job on your first character, the only thing you really need to focus on to level up is the MSQ. You need to be chasing the main story quest. The reason being is because this is locking content behind it. We need to push through the main story quest to unlock more roulettes, which are going to allow us to have access to more things with experience point bonuses and so on and so forth. So if it's your first job, I highly recommend just following the meteor. As always, chase the main story quest. It's also a really good source of experience and gil, and only break away from that if you get level gated and cannot continue, in which case you're going to just do whatever roulettes you have unlocked and spam dungeons until you can get back on the main story quest. That is the most efficient way to level your first job. I swear by it. I don't think there's a better way to do it. Now, if this is not your first job and we're looking at leveling a secondary job and your MSQ is already done, well, then there's a lot of different things we can take into consideration, like time and what you actually think is fun. So obviously this list is going to be subjective, guys, but kind of take what I say with a grain of salt and decide for yourself what the best way is going to be for you. Alright guys, before we get into it, there is a lot of things that are worth mentioning before we dive too deep into the ways you can level, and that's kind of setting yourself up for success as you're playing through on your first job. And if that's the case, I would really recommend saving any side quest or anything like that until after you've done the MSQ on your main job, because the MSQ is going to get you to level 80. So you can save those side quests to do on an alt job in case you just want like a different method for leveling. That way you can get those experience bonuses on those other characters, because if you're like me, like I really like to have all the quest icons cleared off my map. I like a clean map. I'm a completionist. So what I did was I saved all my DPS jobs to go through, like for example the Shadowbringers expansion. I got all my DPS jobs to level 70, and then I knocked out all the side quests in every single zone just to get them off my map and to have those experience bonuses not completely go to waste. This is not the most efficient way to do this, but it's just kind of something you can do to augment that leveling experience on your alternate jobs. Another thing that we need to talk about is that it's really important to get all your roulettes unlocked via doing the main story. Also, by doing the Alexander raids at level 60, that will unlock your raid roulette at level 60 and give you an extra really quick roulette that you can run every day for a nice experience bonus. The best way to remedy getting level gated in the main story quest, I would say, is to run whatever roulettes you have available and then spam the highest level dungeon that you can do until you can get back on the MSQ and just continue from there. Other things to note is that there are ways to increase your experience gain, like eating food. It doesn't matter what type of food. Every food gives you a 3% experience buff, and I will include in the description of the video a link of all the vendors and what food they sell. Just buy the cheapest thing. It doesn't matter. You don't need the stats at this point. We're purely looking at this as an experience point bonus. Company issued experience scrolls. If this is your first job, this information is going to be completely irrelevant to you because these are something that's earned through ranking up your grand company, but they do give an experience bonus, so it's worth talking about. Also, if you're in a free company, make sure the Heat of Buff battle is up, and if you're not in a free company, maybe consider joining one. Also, there's the experience point items from like the collector's edition of the expansions, which you can buy on the Mog station. And also, if you pre-order Shadowbringers, you get Mafina's earring, which also will give us a nice little buff to experience. Alright guys, and now that we have all that stuff out of the way, let's talk about my favorite way to level alt jobs. The number one thing that I do to level my alt jobs is every single day I will log on and do my daily roulettes. Now these are a bunch of random duties that you can do once daily, and most of them give a pretty large experience bonus. They will also give you tomes and gills, so they're super worth running every day. They're usually done really quick, and this also helps new players get through the story content, so it's really good for the game as well to use this option. The experience bonuses from like the leveling roulette and alliance raids are super good, and they're definitely worth doing once a day. The next option that I really like, guys, is doing beast tribes daily. You get 12 beast tribe allowances that you can use every day, and they actually give you a really nice chunk of your experience bar if you use them. The beast tribes range from every expansion, from A Realm Reborn all the way up to Shadowbringer, so you can actually start using beast tribes to help you level up at level 50. And I will go ahead and put a link in the box below with how to unlock every different beast tribe and the different quests and stuff they offer, to give you guys another resource there if you want to check that out. But every day we want to make sure we're hitting roulettes and beast tribes. That's going to give us a nice big boost to our experience right off the bat. Alright guys, my next favorite method is going to be dungeon spamming. This just involves you queuing the highest level dungeon that you can get into over and over again with your food buff going and your FC buffs and all that. It's a really good source of experience. I highly recommend this for tanks and healers because they get really fast dungeon queues. This method is still great if you're a DPS, but I do highly recommend that you do like fates or something in the open world to give you experience while you're waiting in queues, because sometimes they can take a little bit longer as a DPS. But this is actually the way that I leveled all my tanks and healers up. It wasn't terrible. I was able to do them all in like just a couple days, pretty quickly. I highly recommend this method, and it's one of my favorite methods too, because I also really enjoy the dungeon experience in this game. The music, the enemies, the way you play through them. I think this is one of the more fun ways to do it, but it's also really efficient as well. And don't forget, there's a bunch of dungeons that we can unlock outside of the MSQ as well. You'll be seeing those on your screen right now. Any of the dungeons with the blue plus mark on them are optional ones that we can unlock, so there are potential more experience point giving ones than what you may have unlocked already. And I'll put a link to where all these are in the description of the video below, so you guys can have that resource as well. The next leveling method we are going to talk about is going to be Palace of the Dead. This is another one of my favorite leveling methods. I really enjoy this one because it's something that you can access as long as you've hit over level 17 and completed the main story quest Into a Copper Hell, which is the Copperbell Mines dungeon. This job you can go in at any level, and it syncs you up because it uses an independent leveling system. Food and scrolls do not work in here, so don't waste them when you go in here. You will be awarded an experience bonus, not for combat, but for completing every 10 sets of floors. The thing that makes Palace of the Dead so unique is that it does not require a specific group comp, so you can literally go in with 4 DPS and clear 10 floors pretty easily. The thing that's helpful with this is that it makes for very short queue times. This is unlocked in New Gridania, and it is accessed via the Woodwhaler Expeditionary Captain in the South Shroud. There's actually a lot that we could really dive into on this, but I'm going to avoid that because I've already made another video on leveling all jobs in Palace of the Dead, and I will also include a link to that in the description below. The next thing we're going to talk about are Leve quests. Leve quests are unlocked every 5 levels from level 1 to 45 and every 2 levels from 50 onwards, starting at level 10. Each batch of Leve quests must be unlocked by speaking to the respected Leve meet. Leves do have an allowance, however, the unlock quest does not cost an allowance. You gain 3 allowances every 12 hours and can stack up to 100. I prefer to use this method to level my gatherers, however there are combat leaves up into the Stormblood expansion, and they can also be used to farm Grand Company seals as well. One other important factor to note is that once you undertake a leve, you will not be able to open your map anymore, and any information on where the quest is located is going to be found in your quest journal. You will also need to initiate the quest once you've arrived in that location to cause the enemies that you need for it to spawn. And if you guys are curious to see how many Leve allowances or Beast Tribe allowances you have left to use in a day, you can type /timers to see that information and when you'll be getting your next ones. Alright guys, the next thing I want to talk about is fates. If you open your map in any zone, you'll see these little purple icons with the blue circle around them. These are fates. Fates are kind of an open world event where multiple players can join in, level sync down to the fate, and complete it for an experience point bonus. If we notice this icon on the bottom left of your screen right here, this one actually has a little experience point icon on it, and this is going to let us know that this guy is an experience bonus fate. I actually don't mind fate grinding. I think it's a pretty decent way to get experience, but I will say this. If you're going to fate grind by yourself, some of these fates are going to take you a very long time to get through, and it's going to make it inefficient. This is good when you are waiting for a dungeon queue and you don't really have any other options of something to do while you're waiting. It's also very good if you have a nice little group of friends that would like to do these with you. You can plow through them pretty quickly and level up really fast. Another option is that you can always throw yourself up in Party Finder and see if anybody else wants to join you to help you with these. You can do that just by clicking on the party icon on your menu on the bottom right corner, choosing Party Finder, selecting Recruit Members, choose Fates, and then just put in the description shared fate grinding or experience point grinding to get the attention of others looking to do as well. Oh yeah, and did I mention that Shadowbringers added this awesome thing called Shared Fate that allows us to get access to exclusive vendors after completing so many fates in each Shadowbringer zone that has different things like materia, orchestrions, and other housing items that are exclusive to them. So there's definitely plenty of reasons to fate grind, especially from level 70 to 80. Alright guys, and the last two things I want to talk about in the video today are going to be side quest and mob grinding. So I kind of already talked about side quest in the intro to the video. This is kind of something that I just used for like leveling up my DPS jobs whenever I was getting burnt out on doing the other methods. It was kind of just another option. It's not really the most efficient way, but if you're interested in doing some of the quest lines, it can be kind of fun and it's something different. So that's why I thought it was at least worth mentioning. Also, mob grinding I want to talk about because it's something that's relevant in other games, but not so much in this game. The only time that mob grinding is really going to be relevant to leveling in this game is when you're leveling Blue Mage, and that's pretty much about it. That's a whole other video in itself that maybe will be coming soon. But yeah, that's pretty much it for all the different ways to level in Final Fantasy XIV efficiently. I hope that this video helps you guys out and gives you some kind of idea of where to start with leveling your alt jobs. I hope you're all enjoying the game, and if you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and subscribe or consider giving it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. I appreciate you guys, and have a wonderful day.